Hey folks, Randy Go, Trout the Man with you here today. Today, we're going to be discussing the new Garcia Diplomat Extreme 6'2" solid tip area trout rod. Now, I ordered this rod because I was so enamored with the Garcia Eradicator Slow Paper Special. I said, I'm going to give this rod a try. But we're going to discuss the rod here in a little bit. But right now, I want you to take a quick look at me sitting on a bucket on the bank, pulling in some medium bluegill, some of them decent bluegill, on this rod. The reason I did that, now a lot of people ain't going to sit on the bank to catch smaller bluegill, but I will, because I got the equipment to do it, the equipment that can give me a lot of fun, and that's the reason I bought this rod. I want you to pay particular attention to the tip on this rod, the bending curve on these not so large fish, which ought to tell you how much fun this rod can be. I cannot convey to you how soft the tip is on this rod. There's no way I can describe it to you, how it feels. It's very delicate. There's no other way to put it. But anyway, take a look at this little short video of me catching some bluegill, and we'll be right back. Here we go. First fish of the day, folks. Yes, sir. A little chunky bluegill. Ain't much to him, but hey. Testing out the new Diplomat Extreme trout rod. Pretty little fish. Pretty fish. Here we go. Here we go. Mr. Bluegill, I think. Oh yeah, nice bluegill. Yes, sir. Nice bluegill. Well, it's nice on this rod. I'll put it that way. Pretty good. Pretty nice fish, really. He sure wanted that. I got to get it out of him. Okie dokie. All right, here we go. Another chunky bluegill. Give me a good little tussle. Another bluegill. Now, folks, if I make a video of this, these are little fish, but I want you to, if you watch the video, I want you to look at the tip on this rod as I'm fighting this fish in. If you can see it on the video, this tip, this is what this rod is all about, this tip. This tip, I can't describe how soft this tip is. Let's see if I can get some more. Here we go. Here we go. That's a better fish here. Look at that tip, folks. It's all about the tip on this rod. Oh yes, beautiful bluegill here. Beautiful bluegill. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's red breast. That's why. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Nice. Well, yeah, he's red breast, yeah. Beautiful fish. Now that is a gorgeous fish. Yes, sir. Man, that joker is fat. Wow. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, sir. Another bluegill. I tell you what, folks, you get the right equipment, you can have some fun with little fish. You just definitely can. That's a fact. Now that is a tiny fish, but he gave me a little fight. He sure did. Here we go. Here we go. Now this joker is giving me a fight on this rod. That's for sure. That is for sure. This is just I'll explain about this rod when I make the video, but I'm finding out what I want to find out today. It's a pretty little fish. Oh, Man, I tell you what now, this rod's just fun, folks. It's just fun now. That's all there is to it. This rod is just fun. Come on back up here. Come on back up here. Yes, sir. Another chunky bluegill. Another chunky bluegill. Pretty fish, folks. He ain't that big, but hey, that joker's fat. Yes, sir. Here we go. Oh man, these little fish are a lot of fun on this rod. A lot of fun. Yes, sir. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. Another pretty little bluegill. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, mercy me. Oh, mercy me. Another little chunk. Been catching them all morning like this. Fat little thing. Ain't much size, ain't much length, but he's fat. There he is. Felt him when he picked it up. Yes, sir. Felt him as soon as he picked it up. And he hooked himself. I didn't hook him. Another little 5-6 inch bluegill. Pretty little fish. I've sat here and caught them all morning. All right, let's get him back. There he is. There he is. The little bluegill. Well, he ain't that little. Pretty fish. Okay, folks, let's talk about the 6'2" ultralight extreme horizontal fishing rod, area trout rod by Garcia. It's a beautiful rod, very beautifully understated, I guess is what I should say. If you'll notice, you have the cork butt, you have a beautiful cork split grip here. From this section to this section is a subdued maroon color. And from this section all the way out, the rest of the blank is a matte gray. Nowhere on this rod does it tell you where it's made. I'm going to have to assume it's made in China, but it's not. It's certainly not on the rod. But I know it's not made in Japan, or they would proudly have that on there. The rod has Fuji titanium chloride guides. Weighs a total of 47 grams, which is light, folks. Trust me, that's light. When you hold this thing, it feels like you're holding air. Along with the cork grip, they have a cork reel seat, what they call air cork, which is a composite cork. There's some kind of material they use to have the ground cork to make the reel seat. I don't know if it's epoxy or whatever. I wouldn't think it's epoxy, that'd be too heavy, but whatever it is, it works out fine. Right here, you can see this. I thought this was cork when I initially unboxed the rod, but it's not cork. What that is a sand colored foam. It looks like cork, but it's not. And what that provides is cushioning when you tighten down the reel to keep from damaging the cork here. It works out real good. Works out real good. The key to this rod is in the tip. The tip is everything on this rod. That's what gives it its ability to hook fish automatically according to Abu Garcia. And I got to tell you, the fish I hook, they're on there. What happens when a fish hits this? From what one gentleman described to me, even though he doesn't have this rod, he read the specs on it, I'm pretty sure. And he said what happens is the fish will hit it, he will make the turn, and he will be hooked before he knows what is hitting. And I found this to be true. When bluegill, crappie, Kentucky bass hit this thing, what you feel is this tip that just starts doing this. The fish has inhaled it, he has turned, and he's moving away, and he's hooked. Automatic hooking, as Abu Garcia likes to say. That seems kind of far-fetched, but I got to tell you, it works. And if you watch the other fishing video that I put up with this rod, you'll see that the tip just loads up. Pay attention to the tip. As a matter of fact, evidently, and they don't mention this, but I know that's what this is for. If you look at these last two guide wraps, they're white. That's for tip watchers. Now, I don't watch a tip because when I'm twitching, I got the rod so vertical, high, I'm not paying any attention to the tip. It's all about feel to me. And that's why I love to have a sensitive rod. It's all about feel. Everything's about feel. But you will see these. The fish gets it. I don't think you'll see it before you feed it. I think it'll be one at the same time. But a lot of people like to tip watch. I don't. I line watch, but I don't tip watch. The other wraps are a gold thread with one strand of burgundy in there. It looks pretty nice. This rod, I think if I didn't mention already, it's just like a feather in the hand. It's so light. You're not going to get tired fishing it. It is an absolutely perfect bluegill rod. I mean, come spring, when the spawn is on, where you're going to get on 100 fish a day, come 3 or 4 weeks from now, when they get stacked up in that dead lot, where you're going to get 100 fish a day, this rod right here is going to give you a whole lot of joy. Now, what this rod is not, this is not a Eradicator Real Finesse Slow Taper Special. It's not in the same vein as that. The Eradicator Slow Taper Special Finesse is very steely and very crisp. And while this rod is as sensitive as any rod I have, it does it in a different manner than the Eradicator. And you can feel everything. You can feel when the nippers hit this thing. You can feel that little tip, 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 tip. But when a fish is committed to this thing and wants it, you're going to feel that tip. You're going to feel that pressure in that tip. No need to set the hook. I don't set the hook. Y'all know that, but I don't set the hook even with other rods. But with this rod, you ain't gonna set the hook. All it's gonna do is right there, and you keep reeling, and he's gonna be hooked. As a matter of fact, a lot of them fish I hooked was quite deep. This rod, I got this from Bai, Japan. Now, what that is, that's a buying service. I don't recommend going down that road, and the reason I don't is I say I don't recommend it. I'll just put it out there ahead of time. It's a lengthy process. They have to order the rod gets sent to them, then they repack it. If it needs repacking, then they send it on to you. Some of the sites you can buy from are Amazon Japan, Rakuten Japan, Yahoo Shopping Japan, and what that is you Bai Japan is buying it from Yahoo or Amazon or Rakuten, and it gets sent to them. Now you're going to pay a fee. It's like $7, $6, something like that, and then you're going to pay a shipping fee. And this was shipped via DHL. And I would like to add too that the box this arrived in was when it got here, it was sitting out back on the driveway here. The box had a crease in the center, so the box was like this. And I said, this is not going to end pretty. It's not going to be pretty. But I opened that rod up, and the rod was fine. DHL had take the box back in two. It made it here just fine. But boy, I tell you, that's the first time I ever had a rod shipped out of Japan. It wasn't in some kind of PVC tube or heavy cardboard tube. if you're looking now, I'm anxious to get out on the water November when they stock the trout over here about 30 miles away. There's going to be thousands of stock of trout put in there that I'm going to fish for trout November, December, January, February, March, April, May, maybe even in June or something. I'm really anxious to check this rod out on trout, which is what it was designed for. And the reason I'm really anxious, when you fish a trout magnet for trout, like the owner of Trout Magnet, Jeff Smith, says, if you catch 50 trout that day, you missed another 50. And I have found that to be true. It's just the nature of trout and fishing that jig with them. And same goes if you catch which I've done it before. I've been out on Little Red River and caught 150 trout in a day. And you miss 150. I'm going to see if this rod will increase the hookup rate. I'm going to see if I have less missed fish than I normally would because of what they call the automatic hooking for this rod. That sounds funny, folks, but we're going to see how it works out. I will continue to fish this rod. It's not necessarily. I wouldn't go chasing smallmouth with this rod. It's just I don't think you'll have any problem with it. I mean, this rod is designed to catch some pretty big trout out of flat water, no current at all, out of the areas they fish for trout in. They'll have 5, 6, 7 pound trout in there, and you can get them in with this rod, but you know, you're talking, it's just calm, flat water. There's no current whatsoever. So fishing this in the current with some bigger fish, that might be an issue. You know, folks, we take these rods and we fish with them in a manner that they're not designed to be fished with. Like I will fish this, which is no problem fishing this for bluegill, no problem really fishing this for Kentucky bass, but I'm going to go fishing for trout in the river with this. Well, they don't design this rod to do that. If they wanted to go fish for trout in the river, they would use a stream, what they call a stream trout rod or a river trout rod, which I don't have any of those rods, and the reason I don't have any of them is there's a high glass content in those rods. It's going for strength. And I'm all about sensitivity. I have one area trout rod that's on the medium end, the Palm Zedgeria, beautiful rod, great rod, extra ultralight rating, I love it, but it's nowhere near as sensitive as this rod, not even close. In the other area trout rods I have, the Major Craft Fine-Tail Banshees and the Major Craft Area Stage, I used to own a Daiwa Primi, but it was so dead. It was a beautiful rod, but it was so dead. It had 84% graphite and 16% glass. It was just dead. It was a lot of fun to fish with, but you couldn't feel the fish hardly hit it. So I gave it to a young gentleman I wanted to get started in ultralight angling. But I no longer have that rod. If a rod's not sensitive, I'm not going to keep it. I don't want it. That's just me. Because of my style of fishing and how I fish, it's got to be sensitive. This rod on crappie is excellent. I mean, it's excellent. Crappie, they hook themselves with this thing. And with the action of the rod, you're going to get a whole lot of fun with crappie on this rod. So crappie and bluegill is the main thing for this rod, specifically bluegill. Now, a lot of people are not going to spend that kind of money on a rod for bluegill. And let me add, too, here, folks, that I'm a JDM tackle enthusiast. You don't need these kind of rods to go out and catch fish. This is just what I do, and I thoroughly enjoy it. You can go and get you a $19 ultralight rod, and you can go catch all the fish you want. What you're not going to get with that $19 rod is you're not going to get the sensitivity I get with these rods. And does it help you put more fish in the boat? Maybe. What it does do, though, it gives you a whole lot more fun. Fishing with these rods is extremely fun because you feel every little twist, turn. You just feel everything with these rods. They're just superior in every way. So anyway, folks, hope all of you are doing well. If any of you want to buy this rod, you can contact me at email troutmagnetman@gmail.com, and I will send you the link to the Bai JP website. But like I said, it's nothing, you know, it's a legitimate website. It's based out of Japan. It works fine. But for most folks, it's not like ordering from Digitaka or Platt or one of the web stores. It's a more arduous process than that. But you will have a variety of rods using Bai Japan are available to you that Digitaka and Platt and Japan Tackle and JP Angler may not have. So if you want to check them out, let me know by email, and I'll try to send you some better information about it. As I said, I hope all of you are doing well. I hope all of you are safe. Hope you're out fishing, enjoying this beautiful weather we got here in Tennessee. It's going to be around for another few days. I'm going to get back out tomorrow. I will have this rod with me. And when I go, by the way, I don't take my Eradicator Special, Slow Taper Special, because I want to fish that rod. And if I have the Eradicator with me, I will wind up fishing it. I find that to be the case a lot of times with these different rods. If you really want to test out a rod, you better just take that rod with you. I took this rod yesterday and took the the Tenru Lunakia. Of course, they're two totally different rods, so the Lunakia wasn't going to interfere with me fishing with this. But if I'd taken the Eradicator out, I might have said, "Oh, okay, let me swap back and forth," because they're close. They're very close in their behavior. Not exactly the same, but they're very close. So anyway, folks, I want to thank you all for watching. Appreciate the support of the channel. Appreciate all the comments. Soul up them all, and life is good.